بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Today inshallah we're gathered to talk about essentially what is the design argument, and I'm going to tie it into specifically biology. Now the design argument essentially stipulates that the universe and everything around us, including astronomy, the laws of nature, human biology, plant biology, everything we see around us is far too intelligent and complex and designed and organized to be made without there being a creator. For example, if you see a vacuum cleaner and it has a handle to hold it by, and it has a button you push and then it sucks all the dirt from the floor, and everything is clearly organized, it's got color to it, structure, you have a storage space for the dirt. You don't need a scientist to know that this is organized, this is made and assembled for a purpose, and its structure, its complex structure tells us that. Now it's similarly with the human body. When you see that the human eye, more powerful and more complex than any camera on the earth by a mile, you have a voice box system, self-replacing, cells that replace, a digestive system, receptors, pain receptors to tell you to register pain, hormones, all of these things that are so detailed and function. You have cells, with their own parts and systems and organelles that each function, that each have jobs to help the cell function. And you see how the cells play into each other, and how they have a role in the tissue to make the tissue have a job, and how the tissue forms, and how it helps with the organ, and how it does its job, and how it all interacts with each other, and they all work together as a team to keep the body sustained, keep the body alive, keep defending the body, keep attacking germs, keep reproducing, it's too complex for you to not think that there's a creator. Now in an academic paper by Fabio Grizzi and Maurizio Shariva Internati, and I'm going to send the link in the description. It's called The Complexity of Anatomical Systems, and in this paper he actually gives a figure which is very, very interesting, right? What does he mention? If you go to the part that talks about figure 2, it mentions, and I'm just going to quickly read over. It says, unlike anatomical entity or an anatomical entity, and despite the fact that it has no unique shape, a crystal has no unequivocally defined size that can be used for classification. A small crystal of a given substance will always have the same general structure as a large crystal of the same type. Any fragment of a crystal has the same physical and chemical characteristics as the whole crystal. But this is not true of any fragment of a living organism, because the chemical compositions and physical properties of the individual parts do not correspond with the composition of the whole. Furthermore, the various components of a living system are characterized by the integration of precise functional criteria that form the whole. Returning once again to crystals, the macroscopic structures can easily be predicted on the basis of their microscopic structures. They lack what are called emergent properties, i.e., those that strictly depend on the level of organization of the material being observed. And then he shows figure 2. Human beings are complex hierarchical systems consisting of a number of hierarchical levels of anatomical organization, molecules, subcellular entities, cells, tissues, organs, apparatuses, and organisms that interrelate differently with each other. And this was the same concept that I was getting at. all of them interrelate with each other. It's like a massive jigsaw puzzle that's come together, and it forms a nice, beautiful painting of the country France, for example. And you can see it on the map and in its borders, Spain, Andorra, bordering Belgium, and all of these places. You're not going to tell yourself, oh, this massive jigsaw puzzle that shows everything in detail fell from the sky and it magically assembled itself by chance. This isn't possible. Okay, it's just beyond reason. And so this is essentially what the even the scientists have argued, that it's far, far too complex for it to be out of the blue, so to speak, for it to be out of, okay, the surprise. This is also reflected in the Quran. For example, if you go to Surah Al-Kahf, okay, verse 17, what does it say? It says, وَتَرَى الشَّمْسَ إِذَا طَلَعَتْ تَزَاوَرُ عَنْ كَهْفِهِمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَإِذَا غَرَبَتْ تَقْرِضُهُمْ ذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ وَهُمْ فِي فَجْوَةٍ مِّنْ ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ مَنْ يَهْدِ اللَّهُ فَهُوَ الْمُهْتَدِ وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ فَلَنْ تَجِدَ لَهُ وَلِيًّا مُرْشِدًا. Okay, now this verse, what does it talk about? It talks about you would have seen, okay, essentially the sun, and it's talking about how it's rising and it, goes around to the other side, to the sunset, from the right and to the left, and it's describing the motion of the sun from the perspective of the cave. And what does it say? That is from the signs of God. Here you have now the sun and its complex motion and how it relates to human life and so on and so forth is being detailed out here, and it's being talked about as a sign of God. Okay, so here you have, okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even indicating this in the Quran. So even, this is a concept that even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala points to. With that, inshallah, I want to end it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.